Well, there's the multi-view. You guys don't need that. Hey, welcome everybody. It is John, the Net Guy. It is Tech on Tuesday, number 48 of the year. And wow, what a week. I'm telling you, in the last 5 days, this will be the fourth stream. I don't know if that's a record. I know it's a record for me, but it has been wild. It has been an absolute wild week. People are getting sick, getting that flu going around, all that back to school, holiday colds, getting everybody. My youngest has it, and so he's got the cold and the cough, and he's up all night. So we've been dealing with that. So if I sound a little bit tired, it's because we're dealing with those kind of things. But we've got an amazing show today. I've got so many cool products from many cool brands. You're seeing a few of them behind me. Jackery, by the way, very cool company, very cool products. But Veto Man, I've brought these guys on before with their impact wrench, and they sent another product out, and it is fantastic. They're outdoing the name brand on features, on quality, and on price. This one is an incredible value right now. We'll talk about that in just a sec. Today's going to be mostly about power, whether it's for your car, trailer, boat, home, switching, if you need smart switches. I know it's Christmas time. Smart switches are all the rage. They make really good gifts. Got a lot of cool vendors that have sent out some neat smart switches. So that said, I'm going to check the chat real quick, make sure my audio and everything sounds good. Oh, we got a few people already checking in. So we've got Andrew. He says, greetings from down in Sacramento. Greetings to you, Andrew. Thank you so much. Jonathan Talks Hardware. I don't get sick, luckily. Thank goodness, man. You are a lucky guy. And no shot. He started on time. You bet. No. Today is going to be the day. We are starting on time. Everything's going to go well. Speaking of that, if you are looking for the list of products, by the way, it's down there. That's on the scrolling ticker down there. I'm going to leave that up for a while. It's also, if you're on any of the other services, down in the video description, there's a link to my Amazon show page. Check that out. And if you can follow me on Amazon, that would be awesome. I really appreciate that. I don't have a giveaway today. Maybe I need to come up with something. Who knows? You let me know in the chat what you think you need out of this list here, and we'll see if we can make it happen. So I appreciate that. Just taking a look real quick. Switching from Wi-Fi smart home stuff to Home Assistant. I got Randy J is in here. So he says that. And battery backup generators are pretty awesome. The term battery backup generator is kind of interesting because it's a little bit loaded, right? Is it generating the power? Well, it's generating the AC, but we'll talk all about that. Some really cool stuff. Jonathan Talks Hardware says maybe a battery pack. I've got a battery pack that will blow you away if you've got a smartphone, other device that needs power. So we'll get looking at that. I am going to say hi to the people. Welcome in the Amazon chat. So don't want you guys to miss out. I want to make sure I've got all the products. I do. Well, there was one late entry, so that's pretty cool. Let me get in here. I want to get into the app, and I'm going to scroll over to our first product, and this is from a company called 8Tree. And I'm going to pull it up here on the carousel. It's a smart plug kit. So this is it from 8Tree. Now, again, that's probably blown out there on the screen. Let me go ahead and bring it on the top down. I think we're new today, I haven't used the top down in a while because I've been showing monitors and other stuff. So this is a smart plug kit. Now it comes in multiple SKUs. This one just happens to be the 4-plug SKU. So normally I believe this one's in the 29 range. Let me pull it up here real quick. I just want to see exact pricing for you. So I get you that. 29 range. It's already on sale. I believe it's down to 24. And then if we look again, I think they've actually dropped the price with a coupon down to 18 something. Let me pull it up here real quick. I want to get the exact number right here. So yeah, it is $18.99 with the coupon code that you get right now. So you're paying about $4.75 per smart plug. Now these are Wi-Fi smart plugs, so don't worry about Zigbee, this, that, the other thing. You don't need any sort of special home controller to use them. They are going to work just regularly with your Wi-Fi. Now, I commonly recommend put them on your guest Wi-Fi, but you're going to get 4 plugs here. So that is Christmas lights, lamp in the front window, kids' night light that they keep leaving on all the time, and maybe this is something else. This little piggy went all the way home. So this again is from 8Tree, $4.75. And what's funny is when I went to set this up, I'm going to bring up the app here so you can actually see this. when I went to set this up in the app, and it's super duper easy to do that, I'll pull it up on here. I realized that when I bring it up on the side screen, you'll see it too. My boat shed lights. I have a shed for my boating stuff, and I put a smart plug in there, and it's one of theirs. So I've already been using their stuff, and I did a test light socket today. So let me pull that out real quick here. I'm going to pull up. The way these things work, it's really simple, and these are pretty compact. I'm just going to bring this up on the top down so you can see it easier. They're really compact. So now this one is going to cover the plug mostly above it. But in a lot of cases on a regular wall outlet, you're still going to have access to the plug. This is just an extension cord, so it's a little bit tighter. It's going to have a blue light on the side to tell you when the plug's on or off. It's going to have a status indicator here. Now, it's going to be hard for you guys to see that as well. So as I turn it on and off, you're seeing it actually change on my phone. That green light there is going on and off. And I can control it the other way. I can go from my phone and turn it on and off. Now, the cool thing about this is even though you're actually seeing it here in the app and you're controlling it, you can be anywhere in the world and it'll work with that smart home assistant, who I can't name right now because she's going to wake up. It works with that. It also works, I believe, with Google Home. It looks like that. I did not check on the Apple one as well. So let's take a quick look and come bring it back here over to the Amazon. If you're just joining us, this is John the Net Guy. I'm going to bring up the show page in Edge. Give me 1 second here. We're taking a look at the first product, which is actually 4 products. That's 4. That's 8. It's 4 products. They're smart plugs from the 8Tree Company. Now, they sent this out for a fair and honest review, which is what they're getting right now. And I wanted to bring that up to you. We're going to open them up here, and I'm going to share this screen with you so you guys can see this. And we'll take a look at their Amazon listing just for some neat ideas. But again, I've used the products from this company before. The app is called Smart Life. And once you connect that app to your smart home, every new device that you add, it automatically finds it. Now, what's important about this? Pricing. If you're looking, again, a lot of smart plugs have different features. They have energy monitoring. A lot of them have, other things that they can do nowadays, indoor, outdoor rated, that kind of stuff. This is going to be a price play here. So this is stable and it's got a good price. So once you apply that $6 coupon, which you have to log in for, once you do that, then you're going to get this price all the way down to, I believe, $18.99, which is less than $5 a smart plug. The other cool thing is maybe you get 2 smart plugs for yourself and you give away 2 of them and you spent less than $10 for each of you. So really kind of a cool thing. Ratings on this one looks like 4 stars even. This is 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi. It's going to work pretty decent range on these things. Surprising range for, again, their size and how affordable they are. So I'm just going to take a look real quick in the chat. Oh no. 3 stray strands of beard hair giveaway. I don't know, Pinky Tech. That might only be exciting for you, but we'll see. No, battery pack I owned has the quick charge capability that my S22 Ultra has. Yeah, that's a good point from Jonathan Talks Hardware. Awesome for interior Christmas lights in the house. Everything goes off and on at the same time. So these are going to be programmable. That's a really cool thing. So if you've got If This Then That and some of the other ones, you can use those and program them with your smart home. The other cool thing is you can actually, even though they're different brands, if you've got one of those Echo devices, which I'm not going to name right now, you can actually set up a routine in there. So like when I open my front door, I can have the light switch on and a few other things from different manufacturers by just setting up a custom routine. So when you have your Alexa app open, make sure you go in there and you can set up a routine. It's pretty cool. So let's go back over here. I want to see the next product on the list to make sure I'm getting the right product out. I wanted to see if we have enough people in here to make it worthwhile. I don't want to pull out the great big products at the beginning here. So this was from 8Tree. Very easy to use, very easy to set up. Actually, let me show you the setup on this one just real fast because I want to show that for our video too. So once you've installed the Smart Home app, Smart Life, I believe is what it's called. Yeah, once you've installed the Smart Life app on your phone or device, go ahead and hit the plus button. Now I'm going to plug in one of these, and this one has not been initialized yet. So what you're going to see is the light will actually flash. The socket comes on. I'm going to go ahead and hit add device. I'm going to say continue. I'm going to say a socket. Now I have to put my Wi-Fi name in here. So I'm going to bring it back here for just a second. Now, normally this will get picked up automatically through the app settings, so you don't have to worry about this too much. And I'm going to go ahead and plug in the super secret password. 12345. I mean, yeah, something like that. We're going to go back on the top down here, and we're seeing it still blink. Now I'm going to go ahead and hit next on the app, and it's going to go ahead. It's still blinking quickly, I'm telling it. And let's see if that connects. So if I got my Wi-Fi settings, which I typed in manually correctly, it's going to go ahead and turn solid for us here if everything worked out right. Usually takes about 10 seconds in my last attempt, so we'll see. This is my first time using this phone, so we'll see how that goes. Let's see, just taking a look here. Your Wi-Fi isn't named the Net Guy? No, it is not, surprisingly. Just taking a look also in this chat, making sure I don't have anybody here. Again, welcome if you're just joining. Oh, Tommy Dingler started following on Amazon. I've been waiting for you, Tommy. I'm surprised it took you this long to find my channel, but I do appreciate it, Tommy. Thank you so much for the follow here. I'm actually going to bring up the Smart Life app on my other phone and add it that way because I had this one already connected with my Wi-Fi. So I'm going to exit anyway on this one. I'm going to hit the plus button. I'm going to say add device, do the same exact process. I do actually have all the settings correct on this one. And then I'm going to go next, next, blinking. We'll see if it can add that one. It takes about 10 seconds. So what it's doing is it actually uses Bluetooth, usually low energy, gets this thing, gets it connected to the Wi-Fi, and then comes back. And if everything works out, which I'm looking for here, if everything works out, what it ends up doing is it actually adds it automatically to your local smart home, whatever that is. So just looking for that to connect here. Now, if it doesn't connect, let me show you another trick here, because it should have connected that fast. I'm going to say exit anyway. If you hold it down for 5 seconds, it's going to reset the unit. So you can do it that way. We're going to go in there. And now I'm going to say next, next. And blinking slowly. Oh, so it's going to do the alternative setup instructions. Here we go. Well, let me tell you, it does actually work. I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to go to the Smart Life directly. And now it is adding it and doing the same thing. It's going to add it to the Wi-Fi, but it's using the temporary wireless connection, which it looks like just worked. And now it's connecting back to my regular Wi-Fi. And that was the alternative way. So it looks like it's connected. It's getting it added. And now Smart Socket 2 is available. So that's added. And my Amazon app is already telling me that. And it's asking me if I want to update my firmware here. So pretty simple to set up. Like I said, you can give these away as gifts. It's pretty slick. Smart Life is the app you use. You can manually control them. So like if I'm out in that boat shed I was telling you about, I can turn the lights on before I head out if I know it's dark. Or if I get out there and I think I need more light, I just go up to the socket and I push the button on the side, and it's pretty cool. So that's how it works. Again, this is from 8Tree, 8Tree, 8REE. That's what the box looks like. They do sell them in smaller, I think 2 or 4 packs, less than $5 right now for the 4-pack, which is pretty cool. Let me bring up the next item. Give me 1 second here. Got to make sure I got the Amazon chat up in case there are any questions. If you are just tuning in on Amazon, I got some really cool products here. We've had a great Black Friday and Cyber Monday, but man, the cooler products are coming out now. So let me get back to the full screen here. The next product that's coming up is actually from a company called Jackery. Now, what's interesting is if you're trying to buy a tech gift for the person that has everything, Jackery makes some really amazing stuff. My sister actually got me onto this company about a decade ago, and they made a very small orange, I think it was a 5,000 milliamp hour power brick, and I've used that thing to this day. It's getting beat up by my kids and dropped and whatever, but it's lasted at least 5 years, probably closer to a decade. It was that long ago that she gave it to me, and this is their new product. This is the Explorer 300. Now, it's called a solar generator. Unfortunately, I didn't bring the other cable that's got, because I've got that upstairs. But let's go see what's inside the box here. This little thing that looks like a lunchbox is a massive power bank, battery bank essentially, and an inverter, and a USB PD charger, and it's going to have a bunch more. Also a 12-volt a 12-volt outlet, like a lighter socket. So there you go. So it has all those capabilities. If I hit the display button and I bring it up to you guys, you'll see that LCD display. It's a little bit harder to see in the studio here because again, it's just liquid crystal display. This is at 100% right now. Now the whole thing weighs just a few pounds. I'm gonna see if they actually print the weight on here real quick. Does not show the weight, but we'll take a look at that. It is a little bit lighter than the other product that I'm going to show you today. So a couple things you can do. You can hit this DC button. That turns on your DC jack right here. You can hit this button and it turns on your USB jacks. You can turn that off. You can turn that on. And this turns on your AC outlets. So this thing literally supports alternating current. Let me grab one of these switches just so you guys can see. Hopefully I'll grab the one that's already been initialized. And I'll plug this smart switch into the front here. You can plug anything. You can plug lamps, usually laptops, and you can see I've got AC power on that already. It's lit that thing up and it's ready to go. So it can do AC, DC. It's okay by me. Don't get me in trouble for that. That's from a song. But the USB is kind of cool. So it has USB bidirectional USB-C, which means for some reason, if all you've got is your USB-C charger, let me see if I can pull one out here. I know I've got a few from different shows. So let's say I want to charge an iPhone. This is just an extra cable. Now this one does not come with USB cables, but let's do this. I'm going to put this in here, and then I'm going to plug in the show phone right now. So I've plugged that in, and you can see I'm charging. Now the screen is one thing that leaves something to be desired here. Now hopefully you can see it. It's going to have the draw at about 6. Now it goes up to 20, so my phone's starting to initialize. We still have our AC going on the side there. If I hit the button, I can turn that off, and now I'm not charging my phone. It's down to 6 watts. And then I can turn the AC off, and it'll go down to almost nothing, if not nothing. So you can individually control these. This does not show me the runtime. I'm not seeing a runtime calculation, but honestly, this thing will run for hours and hours and hours. The other day, we had a power outage, and I'm going to bring up the photos from this because I want to show you guys how cool it was. And this thing got us through that power outage, except for one thing. There is a drawback on this one compared to the one that I'm going to show you next. So if you're in the market for one of these devices, let's talk, because there's two different things, two ones that I'm going to show you today, and both of them have some very unique capabilities. So let me pull up real quick for you guys. I'm going to bring up this photos, and you can see this is when the power went out in my living room the other day. I was actually able to plug in some emergency lights, start charging them up in those lamp sockets that you see here. And I was actually able to plug in my fireplace. So this is my fireplace, and it's actually running the blower. It's not running the fire, obviously, but it's running the blower. And I sent this out, and what was cool about it is it was using 33 watts of power. Of course, we're under construction here. This is all done now. So that's when I was using the Jackery. Now, also, let me go down a little bit further because I use this again. We've got some other cool stuff. I used this again last weekend. We actually had the power go out yet again. I had both of these, the two that we're going to see on the show today, and the Jackeries behind here, my daughters both had their phones really low. So it's showing 99% power remaining. Both phones, iPhones charging was 25 watts. We came back in the morning and the phones were both charged up and it had 90% to go. So somewhere between 50 and 20 charges of your phone can happen with this thing. As far as laptop capability, it can absolutely charge a laptop as well, which is pretty slick. So if you have a USB-C cord and you want to plug that in, it can plug into your laptop and use it directly off of the power delivery. So I think Jonathan Talks Hardware, you were asking a question about that. Give me one second. So you were asking a question about that with your Samsung, the S22. So you want power delivery and you want that higher charging rate. So let me go pull this off and I'll show you on the back. So that's what USB-C power delivery is. I'm going to bring this up. And there on the bottom of it is all of the different ratings. Now, one of those ratings is going to say USB-C power delivery. It does 5 volts, 3 amps, 9 volts, 3 amps, 15 volts, 3 amps, and 20 volts, 3 amps output. So that's where you're getting the power delivery. Now, to recharge this thing, there's a lot of cool flexibility here, which we like. So mine's at 100%, but I'll just show you what that recharging process would look like. If you're going along, you can take one of these just standard AC adapters that it comes with. And this thing's going to charge up, I believe, up to 90 watts is the output of this. You just plug this in and you're good to go. Now, what's neat about this also is as it's charging here, it'll tell us if it's charging. But as it's charging, you can continue to use the units. So if you're worried about like a power pass-through, this thing's set up for that. So it can be running some devices, passing through the wall current. And yeah, this is funny. Jeremy's getting me sidetracked. John's power is always going out. Yes, it is. I've been on Discord with these guys, letting them know about all that's going on. But yeah, so it can be a power pass-through if you've got a solar solution, which is really cool too, right? So this is from Jackery. We're just taking a look at it right now. And Pudgy the Goblin Slayer McGee started following. Thank you so much. And Santiago is helping us out here. He just said that this thing is 7.1 pounds. 8 pounds is a glass of milk, or a gallon of milk. So less than the weight of a gallon of milk, and I can vouch for that. It's super light. Now it does have a fan inside here, so if the battery bank that's inside of it started getting warm, if you're drawing a lot of current, the fan might kick on. But otherwise, it's completely silent. And they're calling this is the Explorer 300, and this is a solar generator. Now, what does that mean, a solar generator? Well, it's a little bit of a misnomer in my book, but what they're saying is that you can plug this into solar power and recharge and then use that power later. So this is part of a solar solution. Now I'm going to bring up the next thing which I bought. Now I have the 60 watt version of it back here, but this is from Jackery as well. And of course I opened it on the bottom. But this is their Solar Saga 60 watt panel. So almost the full charging watts that this thing's capable of doing. And it can output 68 watts of itself and charge this thing up. So this thing has 300 watt hours, roughly 293, I believe it is, of power. This thing can charge it up and can do that in just a few hours in the sun. Now that's ideal conditions, right? So you're talking has to be perfect sun out there for that. But what's also interesting about this device, so let me pull the Solar Saga out. I just pulled that up in the cart for you guys. This thing's really slick. It comes very well packaged because this is a true solar panel array. So these are your solar panels. It does have a flip out stand here, which of course I opened it the wrong way. So I'm going to fling it around here. So if we had the sun facing that way, one of the biggest things that everybody's worried about is like, getting the direction exactly right. It's actually the angle that makes the most difference on solar. So if you were, like this, it's not going to get a lot of sun. If you were like this, it's not going to get perfect sun. It's actually the angle towards the sun is the most important thing. So it comes in with these built-in legs, and unfortunately you can't see them on the back here. I'll show you what I'm doing. So I'm putting these legs out here, and now it can hold itself up. So if you're out there camping, you pull out the Solar Saga. I'm going to unzip the side here because this thing's pretty slick. And now I'm going to show you this cord. I got to collapse it. But it has this little pocket here, right? And it has this little adapter cord. You can take this cord, guess what? Plug it right into the input on this. I got to take the adapters off. There we go. Right in the input of the Explorer, and you can run it and charge just like that. Now, if you didn't have the money for the Explorer, the solar generator, this thing actually has a built-in charge controller on it. I want to show you something really slick about it. So this is the little pouch pocket that it has with its actual solar connectors. And the reason that one didn't fit is this is for their 1500 and 2000 watt versions. This is only 300. They make massive ones, but check that out. There's actually USB plugs on it. So I can literally, if I had my adapter out here, let me just get this cord out. USB Type-C, and it's only going to be the 5-volt side of USB Type-C. Let me see if I can get my phone to actually charge with just the studio lights. I doubt it's going to do it, but let's do this. Let's do that, and is there enough in here? Does not look like it, but on a nice sunny day, this thing's got a charge controller built into that little thing, and it's actually going to charge your phone. So it's not enough to do it here in the room. I do have some UV lights I could have put towards it, but that's one of the drawbacks. So again, got a solar charging solution. If you're just tuning in, this is John the Net Guy. we're taking a look at some really neat products. This one happens to be from the Jackery company. This is their Explorer 300. And this is their Solar Saga solar panel. So again, very useful if you want a combination. Now you can buy either separately. I've highlighted them in the cart. They also sell them as a combined package, and maybe you can save a tiny little bit of money. The one thing I like about this is it's super nice and durable on the outside. It's not durable on the front. So again, you got to be still careful around these with kids and stuff. But I like that it closes up magnetically. You just carry this and this, and now you can go camping all weekend and run your laptops, your little portable TVs, all that kind of stuff, projectors and different things, and you don't have to worry about it at all. So that was from Jackery. They've got some pretty cool products for charging your phone and your devices. I'm going to check the chat real quick for any questions, and then I'm going to bring up a competitor's product, which I'm very excited about here. Just checking the chat, making sure I don't have anything to cover there. Perfect. Okay. The next product I'm going to bring up is actually from Vitoman. Very, very similar purpose. So this is the VP300 from Vitoman, and this is their version of a solar generator. So portable power is what it says on the front. Let's bring the top down in. Now I've used their tools before. What's funny is actually, if you look at their name of their company, tools and batteries, and I've used their impact wrench, as I mentioned before, and it worked incredibly well. These are kind of an underdog company when it comes down to it, but they make some great stuff, and I love the design of this one. It's a tick heavier, but it's got so many more features, and I'll show you about that. So charged 2 hours to 80%, so it charges pretty fast. It does have 4 different charging inputs, so it's got an extra one, and the usability of it, I think, is a little bit better. So let me pull this out. Packaging is great. Instructions here are great. Tells you everything you need to know about it. They include a ton of different cables here, which I thought was great of them. So this is their charging brick, and they'll charge at upwards of 90 watts, which is great. That's what they're talking about that 2-hour fast charge to 80%. With these, they're both lithium ion. The units I've shown today are true lithium ion, and there's a choice now between lithium ion and lithium iron phosphate. So let me pull this stuff all out. So very well packaged here. I'm going to put this off to the side. Now, normally it does have one extra bag. I did not put that back in it, but I did save the crucial peel for you guys. There we go. So that's the crucial peel. Now, the whole top part of this thing, as you can see, is a screen. So if I touch anything, now the screen is gorgeous and it's bright. Unfortunately, you don't see the brightness of the LCD. It is auto dimming, and I've got so many studio lights going here, but it's going to give you the runtime, the percentage, what type of devices plugged in or on or available to it. And again, it's about a pound more than the Explorer 300 and maybe a little bit bigger in size. Let's put them together. So yeah, you can see a little bit wider, a little bit taller overall. Width is almost identical, but this one has a ton more features. Very similar capacity, but let's talk about the features that this thing has. One of them right away, take a look at the back. It's going to have these Anderson connectors. These are the minis, but this is for direct hardwiring to DC. So it's a direct DC input. If that's all you've got, maybe you've got another solar situation, you can plug them directly there. It's going to have its solar input, which is great. But this is the feature that sold me on it, guys. This right here. And in my studio, it's hard to tell, but that is a very high-powered light. And I don't know how long it took them to figure out to put these lights on these things. Now, it is going to blink an SOS code right now. So if you were in an emergency, you could set that up. This uses only a few watts. You can see there it's showing me the power draw is 3 watts, and it can go for 99 hours at this light. So if you just needed emergency lighting, 99 hours, you're good to go. Let's talk about some of the other things that they include in here. So this is the second box. Now, they include a cigarette lighter adapter. So there's many, many ways to charge it. We said Anderson connectors. This one also accepts a solar panel input. You can do DC charging with just this off of your car, or you can do wall outlet charging. So you can do all of those. I don't know. Yep, it does have in and out USB-C power delivery as well. That's the other thing, is they include a high quality USB-C power delivery capable cable of this. So you plug that in. Let me see if I got my, is this a show iPhone? Nope. So this one, nope, that is not going to be it. I was looking for my show Android here to see if I have it available. Just want to see if I'm going to be able to charge. I'm not going to be able to show you charging that. Let's go ahead and pull a laptop out here. So in full transparency, I have to tell you, I was only able to get it to draw to 40 watts on the USB power delivery with my Lenovo. Now this is my personal MacBook. Let's see if it's got any power. So it's really low on power right now. So if I plug this in, now what's cool about it is my MacBook is already charging and I'm getting almost the full 60 watts of charge. So you can see there, I've got the backlight turned on still. I'll turn that off. But yeah, it's drawing about 60 watts. Now, what it's telling you is it can last 5.5 hours at this time. Now, my laptop's going to charge in way less than that at 60 watts. But if you have one of the new M1 MacBooks, which this is not, you can get away with going, I think they're only about 30 watts. You could run them for 12 hours or more off of this brick. So this has a ton of it. So this brick, I'll have to get the specs out because people are asking in the chat on this one. This one is 8.8 pounds. So if the other one's 7.1, this is only 1.7 pounds heavier, but so much more flexibility, I think. Now, it's built durable. It has the same, capabilities as the other one we showed. The display can be turned off to save a tiny bit of power, but because this is an LCD display and it's auto dimming, it's already saving a ton of power. I love the readability of this. The light really sold it to me. Last night, I was literally out sawing wood for a vanity that we're doing in a bathroom, and I was out there in the back of my truck. My truck doesn't have good lighting in the bed. I pulled this thing off the shelf. I was like, okay, here we go. I turned the light on, and I was sitting out there late at night finishing my bathroom remodel, sawing wood with this thing just as a light and just as a work light, which is pretty slick. Now, I could have plugged some tools into it. It's not going to plug a heavy duty saw. It's still limited to 300 watts output. It does have a 600 watt peak, I believe, on that output. So if you have a device that's going to have a sporadic, a quick draw, that might work on it. So, Pinky gave me a score here of a little bit too fast on the peel. I get a B- on that one. Thanks, Pinky. That's what I keep you around for, man. Appreciate it. So there you go. There, maybe you get a little bit better look at that. That's the unit right there. Now, it's going to have the USB-C standard with power delivery we talked about. That's going to give you your high-speed 19 volts, 15 volt charging. The regular stuff is going to be here. It's Quick Charge 3.0 capable. So let me pull that up real fast on the top down for you. So that's what we're looking at there. Is this orange connector is the USB, the regular USB-A. It also has another USB-A. So it's got a lot of those. Another interesting thing that it has here, and I'll show you, it's kind of a neat thing because not a lot of these units have it, is it's going to have the 2.1 millimeter jack. So why would you need a 2.1 millimeter jack, right? Well, for 12 volt items, so any items that have a 2.1 millimeter, which is, this standard connector, you can plug them in that and run them right off of this unit, which is pretty cool. So that's another output type that nobody else has. So all in all, two regular outputs. Compared to the Jackery, Jackery is the name brand, right? When it comes to these, they're really leading the way. But honestly, this one's got more features and a better price. Let's talk about that price right now, because if you are considering buying one of these for the house, if you're considering buying one as a gift, I just have to tell you, there is a great deal on them right now. Let me pull up the show page real quick. Just going back to my Amazon page, and I'll show you some usage photos of these because it actually worked out pretty well the other day when we had that power outage. Remember I was talking about using both of these? Well, this is what the Jackery versus the Vitoman. The Vitoman had the light. We couldn't find anything when it was dark. It was pitch black. It was 10 o'clock at night. The power doesn't go out in the middle of the day for us here. It goes out at night when it's inconvenient. And so we couldn't find cables to charge these phones or anything without a light, and the light from this thing was what saved us. What's funny is that you'll see it's at 27% battery there. I had actually done a battery rundown test on this. So I went from 100% down to 20, and then I put it back in the box because I was going to do some more work on it. And this is where I had to grab it out of the box just to save us from this. And then I went and did the recharge capability. So this is 57 watts of input. It was going to take 5.6 hours. The thing then bumped up to a higher charge rate of 91 watts. So it charges to full in 4 hours from zero, which is pretty slick. So that's just a couple of the pictures. I got some pictures of stuff coming up, but this isn't our new bathroom. So imagine when you've got this power station, you're walking around your house, the power's out, you want to be able to brush your teeth. I just carried this thing around with me. It was pretty slick, and then I had power wherever I wanted to go, which was awesome. We got some other products. You're kind of seeing a sneaky peek here of them coming up. And again, this is the outside of the unit. It does have an incredibly large lithium battery, so most of the time it's going to ship not by air, so you got to be careful with that. Let's go back here and take a look at what it is, because I really want them to have the coupon, and they still do. So this one is $349. The other one from Jackery is $299 with a $20 coupon. So price-wise, they're really close, but check this out. They have a 50% off coupon Cyber Monday that's still going. As far as will this last as long as the Jackeries that I've had before have been amazing. You know, this company, the other tools that I've gotten from them have lasted. The batteries and the battery recharge quality has been incredibly good. So I can't say, you know, that I've had this thing for years and tested it out. So, but I'm hoping to. This is the one I'm going to keep because I think it's got the capability. You take that 50% off coupon and you're looking at $175 for this thing. So below $200, a little over the 100 and what is it? The dollar per watt mark or whatever. Very, very capable. Almost half the price of the Jackery. So taking a quick look at the chats to see if anybody's asking any questions on this one. Kayana Moody started following. Thank you so much for the follow there on Amazon. I really do appreciate that. This is John the Net Guy. We're watching Tech on Tuesday. This is show number 48 of the year. We've done 48 of these, believe it or not. We're taking a look at power backups, solar charging accessories, a bunch of really cool stuff. This was from Vitoman, and this is their VP300 portable power. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it off and set this off to the side because we got a lot of cool products coming up. I'm going to get through these or I'm going to be here all day. So let me know if that's an interesting tool. If you consider something like that for your home, consider something like that for camping. I think that's an incredible value at 50% off right now. That would be really cool. And Piggy Tech says, yeah, great price for sure on that. Lithium batteries are expensive to make, and I don't think that we're going to see them get much cheaper because we got so much going on right now in the world and everybody wants these batteries. So that was the Vitoman. The next product I have to show is going to be really, really cool. This is Solar Power Bank. I'm going to bring this up on the top camera for you guys, and I'll do just show you what's in the box. I've been using this for a few days now, and I have to say, if you're looking for a portable, just a phone charging bank, this thing's where it's at. Now, normally it'll come in here, nicely wrapped. Kept all that for you. But take a look at that. That is a solar panel built into a power bank with QI charging, a compass. It's going to have a hand lanyard in here. And let's say you're an iPhone user. Well, guess what? They got you covered. On this side, you got iPhone connector, right? So, of course I should not get rid of my fingernails before I do a show like this. Let me push down on this and get it out, because I wanted to show you something. So this is their really cool idea of a kind of a universal USB. So this is USB-A, but you can take it to this side, open this up, and you can plug it in either direction. And now I can charge an iPhone with this connector, right? So that's their USB to iPhone. Now, let's say you're a Android user and you've got a USB-C. It's got it on the other side. So, you can do that. Or you're like me and you carry tablets and you need just about everything. Then you've got that. So you plug this one in. It's got a convenient carrying spot for both of these charging heads. They fit right here. And if you're an iPhone that's been made in the last century or so, you just put your phone down on it. I got to make sure I turn it on. Sorry. You put your phone down on it. That green light needs to be on, and it's charging wirelessly. So this thing is literally using QI wireless charging. You set it down, and it's charging. Now, what's cool about this one? 38,600 milliamp hours. Now, I've got other battery banks. This one I believe is maybe 18,000 next to it. Almost the same size. This one is double the battery life of this. And it's got a ton of cool features. Again, this one I bring it with me. I got to bring cables with me. I've only got certain ends. This one I bring it with me. It's going to have the mini. It's going to have the USB-C. You can charge it up with either one of those. It does have a battery indicator. I've got 3 bars here. Now it's got other cool features. If I hold the power button down, probably one of the world's brightest flashlights. I actually used this the other night to go to my shed, and I was amazed. It was lighting up my whole backyard. So it's got a built-in super bright light for this. So another great camping trick here. Great question. Jeremy's asking, micro USB? So this is the funny thing. If you've got a device that requires micro USB or somebody with you does, check this out. They actually include a micro USB also. So it's an extra in the box, and they can only carry 2 on board. You know, is this thing as svelte and light and portable as some of the other ones? No. This thing's heavy duty though. But if I was going to have something in my car that was like completely universal, this is the one right here. So that's the power bank. You can see again, QI wireless charging capability. Now, I do have to talk about solar. And let them talk about it a little here. They put this note in the unit. And what it's basically saying is that the solar capability of this is, it's not a gimmick, but it is limited. So the solar panel on this thing, I believe, is only going to be about 2 watts. Now remember, the solar panel I showed you here earlier, this one, this much room was 60 watts. How much room you think, how many watts you think you can get out of a little tiny solar panel like this? So the solar capability here is not meant as the primary charging capability, but it's just meant as an accessory. So if you have this in your car dashboard, it's going to slowly be charging up. It might take 2 weeks to charge on solar, you know, or more, maybe even a month. But the idea here is that it can be passively charging itself. So when you get it, it's not dead. That was what this card basically says is, yes, it has a solar panel. No, the output's not great on it. We know that because it's really just an accessory solar panel to keep the thing charging when you're within, you know, not using it. It's not going to be strong enough to charge an iPhone. So want to put that in there for just giggles there so you guys know. But definitely heavy duty. I do like the idea of a compass in here. It's so like, you know, interesting, you know, that they put a compass, and I'll show you guys that here on the side camera. We got to get the right camera. So there's a little compass on there. This is from GenPin. That's the QI part right there. Now, I don't believe this has power delivery. No, so it's not going to do the high-speed charging. That was a good question earlier, Jonathan, from the S22 Ultra. This is only going to do the 5-volt, 3 amp. So it's going to be maxed out at 15. If that's something that's, you know, important to you, there's other chargers out there. But overall, incredibly happy with this unit. I've taken it around. Let me show you a couple pictures that I took of the unit while I was out. Give me 1 second. I was actually sitting in the school line, and I did an impromptu unboxing of it. 1 sec here. And I get back over to the right screen to where I can share. And so this is it, just sitting on my dashboard of my car, charging up. I thought that was kind of a cool use case. So I have a little spot on my car that I can throw things on, and that sits there and charges up and uses the item there. I also took it, you're going to see in my full video review, I took it out to some neat areas and I played around and did some cool glamour shots with it. So that is the charging bank there. And there it is with the light on out here at one of our public parks. So that's from GenPin. I've pulled that up on the carousel. If you're looking for a heavy duty power bank, I'm not talking like, this isn't the super light, you know, Apple magnetic, whatever. I do have some cool ones coming that are like that in the future here. But this one is definitely one of the biggest portable power banks I've seen. Not going to do AC like some of the other ones you carry. Still would fit in a purse. Definitely has some heft to it compared to some of the other ones. So let me take a look here. I just want to make sure everything is working on time. The next product that's coming up is also another neat product. I showed this to one of my friends, and he was like, you got to be kidding me. You got one of those? I said, yeah. They sent it out for a fair and honest review. It's going to go in my truck, but this is a power distribution for cars. So let me go out here. I just want to make sure I'm pulling up the right page for you guys. And I'm going to just show you on the screen what it actually looks like. And Rising Sun, thank you so much for the follow. I really do appreciate that. That's awesome. So we're going to go here, and I'm going to show you this thing. First, I'm going to show you the page on Amazon so you guys can see what this thing goes for. Give me 1 second. There we go. Sorry about that. So this is from SunPie. It's an 8-gang switch panel for your car, truck, RV, travel trailer. So what makes this cool? You know, again, you can get accessories for just about nothing these days, and you can get light switches and you can get all that stuff. What this does is it eliminates having a ton of extra switches on your dash. Now, I've got that problem. I've got a plugged-in air compressor that's in my truck that automatically goes when I start the truck. I've got fog lights front and rear because when I'm dropping my boat off early in the morning, I want to make sure I can see behind me. So I've got this same problem that they're trying to solve here. I've got fog lights on the front left and front right, plus the center. So I have all those. Right now I only have one switch that can handle them. But what I don't have is I don't have lighting in the back of my truck. I'm going to solve that here soon, but I wanted to show you this thing real quick. And I'll do a quick unboxing here for you and show you where you would use this. But this replaces, when you have one of the older pickups like I do, this replaces the factory or non-factory aftermarket switches that you get, because you might end up with, 6, 7, 8, 9 switches, and this can do them. Now, it has a maximum power output of 1200 watts, which is huge. Make sure you follow all manufacturer's instructions here. I thought, oh, am I just going to be able to run lights, or can I plug my compressor into this? Well, take a look at this. See the different color fuses? 5 amp, 5 amp, 10 amp, 10 amp, 20, 20, 30, 30. So it's going to be able to put out an incredible amount of power. 30 amps is more than plenty to run my onboard air compressor on my truck. The other nice thing about it is it simplifies all of your wiring. Bundle of accessories going to my battery and a bunch of fuses on each one of those. This is going to have integrated fuses, so this is a great upfitter system. You have an all on, all off button here. This is the switch panel. Now, the switches are all clear right now, right? Well, that's because they sent separately this switch guide. And you know, we're going back to audio 2. Can you guys hear my audio on audio 2 now? Sorry about that. I heard my audio died. Let me know in the chat if you can hear audio 2. You're going to get to see me going over here, grabbing some batteries. Okay. So now you're going to get to see how the sausage is made here in YouTube. This is my battery pack. Sorry, the audio is probably not as good on the side here. See, what I need is people, I need to do something like that. I need like an awe track, So I'm going to replace the batteries here. I should have known after days of live streaming that my audio was probably running low. It looks like it's got audio here. Sounds like a conference room, but we hear you. Awesome. Thank you guys. Thank you for the quick uptick on the audio there. I will talk through a little bit of what you probably missed, but you guys are on the spot there. I had a few people calling me too. That was great. I did not ignore your call. I was actually already on the case there. So let's talk about how this thing plugs in. One really simple cable right here, and that's going to go to the unit and to the front switch panel. So I'm going to be able to fire this up, and I'll be able to turn things on and off with it, but I'm just going to show you quickly how that works. The other thing I like about this, and I've had relay systems before in my truck. One of the problems with relays, you think of the standard size relays that you get, they always get wet, and then those relays are not waterproof by default. Take a look at this thing. There is no exposed wiring. If you feel this, this is that rubber. That's all pot. So this is, well, not pot like the other stuff, but this is all potted, they call it. It's a rubberized coating of the entire circuit, and these are transistor controlled rather than magnetic relays. So you can see I'm guessing the transistor bank right here. So I don't know how they switch 30 amps here without having something that's as high as a relay, but they're able to do it. So then you take this piece right here and we plug it in to, I'm just getting this lined up. So waterproof connector, we plug it into the switch pad. Now I'm going to need DC power for this thing. I do just happen to have these massive cables that they gave me, but I do also have a project power supply. This is actually a project supply I'm going to show you on a future show. And so I'm going to bring that out. It does have some really cool mounting options for this piece, which is great. So if you want to put this anywhere on your dash, it can flush mount. You can run the cable right behind it, so there's no visible cables here. It does have this mount adapter that you can use, or guess what? You can sticky back mount this thing right on wherever you want it. So the mounting options on this thing really are truly endless. Tons of capability here, and you can run up to 8 devices on this one. So I'm going to go out to the wide camera again, and I'm going to grab my power station here. You guys may have seen this on other shows, and let me know if you guys have one of these. This is just a DC power supply. And I'm going to look for a cable. So I'm going to need one of those. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this thing up for, 13 volts, 12, 13 volts, and we'll get that going. And I just want to show you. So now this is going to take quite a bit of time to actually wire in a pickup properly, but it's not going to take nearly as much time as wiring a bunch of these things individually would. So here we go. I'm going to bring up the top camera again for you guys. So that's putting out 12.5 volts, voltage course, 13. I'm going to turn it off here while I do some work. Okay. And I'm going to put the negative and positive terminals on this, and then I'm going to hook them up to this as well. So just hooking it up for the first time. If you're just tuning in, this is John the Net Guy. This is the 8 gang wiring assembly here with essentially a smart switch. I don't want to call it that. I want to call it exactly what they're calling. Give me 1 second here. So it's a switch panel, universal 12-volt circuit control panel here that we're looking at. And the idea is it replaces a bunch of manual switches, includes relays, fuses, extra fuses for you, and totally simplifies the wiring process. So I'm going to go ahead and grab a Phillips. Now what's funny is I didn't want to take them out here yet, but they're actually including both size Phillips that you would need. So there's pretty much everything to get started here. There's zip ties. Actually, I'm liking their Phillips already because it's a little bit larger than mine. So they've got a large size Phillips for your terminals here. It is going to include the battery gauge wire. So if you're doing 60 amps, which is the high rating of the circuit, it's going to include that. Looks like there's a short piece to go through the breaker and then over, and then the longer piece to go to the battery. So I'm going to use the longer one here. And I'm just putting this into my 12-volt supply. And we're going to fire this thing up and just turn it on and off and show that it works, basically. Now, you've got a lot of choices here. I was a little bit worried because when they sent this out the first time, I said, but I don't have 8 lights that I want to use on my item. And then, when I started looking into it more, I found out that they include this nice pre-printed sheet. Check all those out. And I do want to add cargo lights to my pickup truck. I think it's actually gonna be really cool to have cargo lights. That's one of the things I don't have right now. And when I had to do some work in my truck the other day, I was really saddened by the fact that I did not have those. And I'm like, this would be a great option to add cargo lights. I'm gonna show you those coming up next here. So I'll just hooking this up now. I'm hooking the DC side. This is the negative terminal. This is the positive, just by color. Now I'm actually using their screwdriver. So this kit is very, very comprehensive. It includes almost everything you need. Okay. And again, I'm making sure this is off because I don't want any sort of sparks. Now I'm not including right now the circuit breaker. When I do actually include it, I will do that. This power supply does have its own breaker. So there we go. And I'm turning it on right now. So that should be putting out 13 volts into the unit that we have. Now, I do not have the other little accessory plugged in. We'll see if that matters here. Now this one here, they said you can actually either permanently wire, or they recommend wiring it to your ignition. Give me 1 second. So this one does this white one does the LED brightness. So if you have a lamp output, you can plug that one in. I'm actually going to strip this a little bit, and we'll plug this in. If you're just tuning in, this is John the Net Guy. We're taking a look today at a really cool option if you're looking for illumination for your pickup or boat. This would work really good in a boat. I could see that. This is all waterproof, one thing I like. So I'm actually just going to add this here. This is the control, kind of like your amp turn on if you've ever done stereo wiring. So this is like that remote line. They say wire this one to your ignition because you want it to turn your lights off when you're not in use. So I'm going to do that. Now you can do the other white wire to your illumination. Let's check that real fast. There we go. As expected. So now it's on, it's off. It's on, it's off. And you can turn on and off these different switches here. And that's going to control essentially these relays that are inside here, or the transistors, and turn things on and off. Now, I have not checked to see which one is aligned to which, but there's an easy way for us to do that. I'm just going to pull this out real quick. Quick multimeter test, and we'll be able to see what is what and what is turning on. I'm guessing upper left is going to be our 5. So 0 output. Turn that on. That was not it. Just taking a look here at which is which. There it is. Okay, so that on and off. 0's out when you hit that one. This is the 60, it looks like. I'm guessing then this lower corner would be the 5 because we want to go off of that. There we go. So now it's working. So we're able to put 13.26 volts out here, and there's no voltage drop. That's another thing I'm noticing. This thing's actually dropped none of the voltage out of here. So that works out really well. So the lower side button, lower right side, is this left side of the small. So I'm going to check real quick back at the chat, make sure I didn't miss anything. I feel like I'm watching a Die Hard movie with all those wires. I don't know anything about this stuff, is one of the responses. Let me show you where you might use this, though. So I'm excited about this because, like I said, I wanted to add cargo lighting to my truck, right? So I'm going to leave this stuff out here just in case I need it. I'm not going to cover any of this up. But I actually have a product now next to show you. But wait, there's more. I actually have a product next that I want to show you, which is from the Nilight company. Now, I've bought some other lights from them. So this is the product right here, Nilight. And it is an LED kit for your car. So if you want to spice up the interior of your car, it's a multicolor LED. So whether you do this, like some of my cars, actually my Fords have this built into the interior already. So you can go ahead and mount this thing. It's going to come with these strips. These are self-adhesive strips. I want to mount these in the bed of my pickup. So that's my next goal, is to take these. There's a half of a zip tie. So I'm just doing a quick unboxing for you here. This is, again, from the Nylite company. And it's going to have a USB power for it. But I'm going to show you how we can plug it in and control it potentially with this one. So USB power plugs in here. It is only 5 volts, so I can't go directly from here to here. I am going to need something else. It does have a little tiny remote control that you can set all of these things with. It's going to have a little tab here that you can pull out. Now I'm going to pull this up on the carousel too, because I want the people that are maybe looking at this to be on there. Cambodia Online Store Digital TV. Thanks for the follow. Man, we're getting tons of follows tonight. I love this. Rising Sun started following. Jane Dawn started following. Very cool stuff. So what we're going to be doing now is plugging in these really cool LEDs to power and hopefully firing up my stuff. I just had that connector over here. I want to double check what I did with that. So that is that. Where is my DC outlet? Because I put that somewhere. You know what? I'll simplify this whole process. I'm going to use the Jackery to fire this up. So this is that Jackery that we talked about before. I'm going to turn the DC port on it, and we're going to fire it up. I wanted to plug it in through here, but I need an adapter for this. So what's cool about this little adapter I have is it's showing me the voltage that the Jackery is putting out is 13.4. We're going to plug this guy in, and hopefully it automatically turns on, which it did. So let's go back out to the main camera so you guys can see these. These are super bright LED strips for your car with adhesive backing. And now they have, I believe, about 48 to 60 inches of cable for each one. So you centrally locate this maybe in a center console, and you plug it into your USB port there. You turn your car on, and now you've got these colored strips. Now, I want to do this specifically for my truck. I don't want to have this in my truck. But what I do want to do, hey, there's green, there's red, there's blue, there's white. I want to add some white lighting inside my canopy on my pickup so I can find things at night. Now, it's going to have some other modes, like it has a music mode here. I don't have any music playing, so we don't have that. It's got a fader mode. Let's see if I can go to the side camera if it does it any better here. So it's got some different, obviously, modes. Now, if you want the actual addressable RGB one, again, this is RGB for your car. Let's think of it that way. If you want RDC, look at that. We got some moderation going on. Thank you, guys. But if you want some RGB for your car, this seems like to be a really good kit. It is one of the #1 best sellers. And this, again, is from Nylite. And this is their RGB for your car. Now, it is an infrared remote, meaning you have to see it infrared. But let's pull it up real quick on Amazon. So that's not radio controlled, so it actually has to be line of sight to the controller box. That's only one drawback. So it's one of those things that you'd probably want to actually connect up, get the color exactly the way you want it, and then turn it on. And it'll stay that way every time you turn your car on. So pretty cool. This is what it looks like. It is looks like 39 inches of wire for the power side. I'm seeing if it'll give us that. 550 SMD LEDs. So those are the nice LEDs. There's the different control modes that you have, and there's the different colors, and it does color change to music, which unfortunately I'm not set up to do here. So we can give it a little cheer on that one, right? So there's what it's showing. So if you centrally locate it, it does have enough cable to reach all of these different locations. And so this would be kind of a cool thing if you've got a kid maybe that wants to upgrade your car, or maybe you got an older car and you're just tired of not having an interior that has lighting, like mine has lighting for your footwells and everything else. Maybe you'll lose things. This would be a really cool upgrade for that. So I'm excited about that. Doesn't show me, oh, there's the amp draw on it. That's another cool feature. This is a really cool power supply. I have 0.8 amps. So it's using about 10 watts of overall power. So that's pretty cool. Makes a lot of sense to me. Probably not transistor, MOSFET, or solid state relay. Actually, yeah, great point there, Randy, on some of this. Very cool how they made that 12-volt switcher previously. So this was from the Nylite company. I wanted to bring this up because that's what's going to go in my truck here pretty soon. And I'll show you guys how that thing connects up. But I got just a few more products. Thank you guys all that are sticking with me tonight. We're going to get through them all. I got a few more cool things to show you guys. I don't want you to miss out. So let me get those up and we will get on to the next one. We are going on to a new unboxing of a product that I have not unboxed previously. So this is going to be kind of fun. Every once in a while I do these. I'm going to go ahead and put these over here so I don't lose them and promptly lose them. And then I'm going to show you guys another product. I'm just waiting for like a crashing sound. I think you guys are too, right? I do like the fact that that switch box includes really good tools. There's 2 sets of screwdrivers that it comes with, a small and a large. Really decent instructions as well. Point that out as I'm putting it away. So this is actually going to be going to one of my friends on the chat, I think. This is a pet feeder, a Wi-Fi automatic pet feeder. So mainly for cats. You know, cats are one of those things, you go out of town, they tend to feed and fend for themselves. You don't have to, like a dog, worry about portioning them. Some cats aren't that way though. So that's where this product comes in. If you're the kind of pet owner that's dumping a handful of food in there for your cat and then leaving, or maybe they free feed and that's the case, this can actually help out. So this is from X2O's company. They make them for dogs and cats. I believe this is the cat model that they sent me. I'm not a big cat person. I'll just be honest with you. Not a huge cat person, but I do like cool tech. And so I'm going to bring this open for you here. And so this is what you're getting. I bought one from Walmart. I don't know how to set them up. That was from Catherine Jacobson on the chat. Let me know, Catherine, which product are you looking at? Is that from, looks like the lighting kit is what I'm guessing you were watching there. But let me know which product. I just saw your message. So this is the Intelligent Pet Feeder Wi-Fi and Bluetooth User's Manual and the App Operation Guide. That's the first 2 things here. Let's see if I can go out a little bit more even. There we go. So pretty basic to, pull out here. There's the unit. I'm just double checking. There's nothing extra down below. Now it did tell me that it had 2 power modes. I'm very interested to see what that actually means. So I'm opening the thing up for the first time here live with you guys. This is John the Net Guy if you're just tuning in. And this is from X2O's. And this is their pet feeder, Intelligent Pet Feeder. So let's see. Now, it says it has a, a design that's meant to not, like if they knocked it over, it's not supposed to open. So I'm like a dog pawing at this. It actually has a push button in the back, and then you slide up to get that off. So that's how you get the lid off. There's some more pieces. Oh, I feel it. There's the front. And there is a USB charging. Okay, now this makes more sense. So let's get this thing plugged in and get it powered up on USB, and we'll get going there. So this one fits, removable bowl. Okay, I like that for cleanup. And then this slides under the front. Okay, now hopefully Fluffy is not smart enough to run these, but you've got this, it's going to be a lock button. You got your Wi-Fi signal button, and you've got your sound button. That's going to be awesome. So let's see. You can turn this, so if you did need to clean or unclog it, I guess you could do that. It did have a symbol for unlock. So that's how that opens here. Desilicate packets do not eat. What's weird, though, is they have this inside a sealed package, which I don't think actually works then, but we'll have to see. Maybe that's for keeping around it dry real quick. I'm just looking at the app operation, at the product feature manual. So there you go. It's got a food jam indicator, recording indicator. There is no camera on this, but it looks like you may be able to talk through it. We'll have to see it if it might have audio capability. So stainless steel bowl, desiccant packet, app guide. So there's the setup guide. We pull all the stuff out of it. There's the DC power interface through the bottom. It looks like it does have backup battery power. Okay, so I like that. That's kind of a cool thing right off the bat. So if we go on the bottom and we open it up here, I'm going to take the handle off. It is going to have battery backup just in case for some reason something goes wrong with your power. Your pet's not going to starve. So Very cool. So I guess this would be kind of like an aquarium feeder, you know. So you would use this if you're heading out of town and you can trust your animal. I never could trust my animals, but you could trust your animal and you wanted to make sure that they were fed on a regular basis. So this one I think is for cats, but realistically it comes down to the kibble size, I'm guessing, and the scheduling. It is Wi-Fi enabled and Bluetooth. It does not come with a power bank, so you plug it into any old power bank is my guess, which is what we're going to do now. And I've got a power light blinking at me, so that's a good sign. I've got a lock sign blinking, so I'm guessing the lockout is if you fed too much. So, oh, you know what? This is so awesome. This is also using the Smart Life app of the original app I showed you earlier. So, oh, the car light from Jovi. Okay, so Catherine was talking about that. She has a Volkswagen Jetta 2010. I want to see the color changing lights from Jovi. You know what? Those are not the ones from Jovi. It's from Nilight. They're the #1 seller. That's for Catherine. So it's a different manufacturer, but hopefully they've got some stuff in the instructions. One thing just to be careful of is that one, your USB is outputting enough power. So if you're having trouble and you've plugged them all in and they're not turning on, make sure that you've got a high power USB port for a lot of those. The 5-volt 1 amps probably won't work. I was using almost 2 amps or 12 volts or whatever it was at 1 amp. So yeah, we've got to check that. Also make sure if it's infrared that you have the controller exposed so that when you hit the buttons that it's doing that. So hopefully that's helpful, Catherine, there. So we're checking from X2Os here. I'm going to go to the Smart Life app. I'm going to see if I can do this on this phone actually. So I'm going to bring up Smart Life and we'll see if we can add this real quick. I did not know that this was going to be part of this app, but that's awesome. So now we're starting to get that. So I'm going through the menu here on my app and it's got entertainment, energy, exercise, kitchen, kitchen hood, small home appliances. Wow, they've got everything in here. When you hit add devices, it has got just a ton. It's got air purifiers, diffusers. Where is the pet feeders? That would be interesting. There's entertainment, there's energy, gateway control, camera and lock, lighting, electrical, small home appliances, maybe. I'm going to keep going down here. Pet feeder Wi-Fi. There we go. So they do have a model with a camera. This is not it. So I'm going to go pet feeder Wi-Fi, and hopefully you guys didn't see my Wi-Fi password there. Confirm the indicator light is blinking quickly. And it found it already. One device being added to my Wi-Fi from X2Os. There you go. So hopefully you guys can see that. So it's being added right now into my Wi-Fi. The light just went solid on it, which I'm guessing means it's working. There we go. I'm going to bring this one up on the show phone so you guys can see it. This is pretty slick. Now, I am going to send this to somebody I was thinking about who has a cat, but I'm going to go ahead and do this. Hopefully you guys can see this right now. We got to give an applause to this thing because this thing's already cool. But I'm going to go here and we're going to take a look. So you can come up with a meal plan. You got a feeding number. So feed number 1, look at all those. Okay, so this is, I'm guessing, how much is dispensed. And I just hit the button, and if you look down here, you can see it actually rotating food in. So it's going to do whatever measured amount of food that you want. And then let's go take a look at meal plan here in a second. So it's still rotating the auger there. That's pretty slick. I don't know. Yeah, it needs a search function. If they're going to have any sort of more animal and other products, this Smart Life company has just got the market on it. So I'm going to go here, get it back for you guys so you can see it. And I'm going to go into the meal plan. I don't have a schedule, but let's say Fluffy gets 18. And what do we have here? So this is the amount it looks like, or this is the hour of the day. So let's say at 8 a.m., we're going to feed 10. Save. And then we're going to do an evening feeding. So we're going to say at 6:30, we're going to do another 10 Monday through Friday. So very cool that they've got that schedule. So now this thing's ready to go. Now, another interesting thing of it, it says timing may have an error of up to 30 seconds. It's telling me right now that it doesn't have any batteries, so the battery power is low on this thing. Lots of really cool features. Adapter status. It does have volume. Let's see. So it's at 3. There we go. Now, can I talk through this thing? Because I thought that it had the ability to chat, or at least you can listen through it, but we'll see. Pretty slick. I don't see that on there. I do see a volume, but I don't know what that would actually be for. So maybe it does play a sound when it's time. So that's another cool feature. So this was an unboxing from X2O's. This is their automatic pet feeder with Wi-Fi capability. Uses the Smart Life app. Has dual power capability. So you're able to power this thing either through DC batteries and the USB, or as you can see here, it powers from the USB only. It does have a little max indicator here on how much food. It does have a visual window so you can see how much food is in there. And it does have a tamper resistant. Yeah, I think if I had a dog, they'd be through this in just a second. I hate to say that because, you know, you've got that. I'm going to push this bowl in a little bit better. But kind of neat if you want to set it and forget it and have that capability to not forget. I know with my kids, when we had a pet, they were always forgetting to feed right on time. This one is again for cats. They do have one for dogs. And I believe the big difference is actually just the kibble size. So this one has a pretty small, if we look through the top, pretty small opening there. And the hopper, you know, can contain only so much. So there you go. Any questions on this one? Let me know. I'm going to go back to the chat here. Wow, how cool is that? What a cool product. So I want to thank those guys for sending that out. I will do a little bit more of a video on this and a recap when I get my friend this item, and we will figure out how it works and have a pretty cool showing on that. So that was from the X2O's company. It is in the carousel if you guys are following along with me on Amazon. I'm just bringing up the Amazon page because I need to get us over to our next product. Okay. And these are from the Jackie LED company. And I've been using these a ton. I kind of bought them on a gimmick. I bought all these myself. I bought one just because I needed it. And then I bought the other ones because it just looked cool. And they're sitting behind me on the counter here. So if you're just looking at the carousel now, there are 3 different models of this. This is the this one, eeny, meeny, miny, moe. This is the 12 outlet version. There's a 6 outlet version, and this is a full 20 outlets. These are power towers. They're surge towers. I'm going to do a quick unboxing. Here's what they come and look like. So from Jackie LED, top down here for you. This is their smallest one. This is the 2 tower one. All of them come with USB charging capability. All of them come with push buttons to turn on and off each power ring. So if you had certain things that you want to keep on all the time, maybe you put those on a lower ring. Really, really easy to set up here. The other thing I like about this, when you have flat power bricks, you have a horrible time with AC adapters. I'm almost always plugging in AC adapters. This thing, AC adapters are no problem because each one gets its own side. So if you're just looking at this right now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is their 6th one, but it has individual control for each tier. And check this out, 4 2100 milliamps, so just under 2.4 amp USB outputs. Now, what's cool about this is if you want to reel it out, you literally just pull like I'm doing. Now let's see what cord this has got. Oh, you know what? This is going to be great. I always like to do the cord test. I have to go wide for you guys to do the cord test with you on this one. Take a look at that. 6.5 feet of cord. So it's got plenty of cord to get there. And the nice thing about this is, unlike the other ones that flop around, things fall out of them, I found that this works really well. I want to use these actually in our church media booth. I haven't talked to my friend about that, but I bought these. There are 3 different sizes. Now, basically functionally the same. So they're all just a powered surge strip. There is a limitation, obviously. Fire department will tell you how many things you can have plugged in. You should not, if you have 2 surge strips plugged in right now, be doing that. It's not good to daisy chain surge strips. But if you wanted to grab one of these, you can get up to 12 outlets. Plus all of those, we call them wall warts, but all of those AC adapters to get to your USB, you could retire up to 6 of them because you've got 6 outlets on this one. Now this one I must have tightened a little too tight, but that's how easy it is to unreel. So you literally pull on the cable and it spins around. There you go. Now I've got this one ready to deploy. Put that out, plug it in, and I'm good to go. This is the big daddy right here. I bought this one because to me it looked like a joke, but you know what? I've used this. This was awesome. So I've got all of these buttons here. So every one of these buttons individually controls that circle. So it's going to control this bank. Now, I believe the USBs stay on all the time. I don't believe those switches control those USBs. 6 USBs on this one, 6 USBs on this one, and only 4 USBs on this one. I have used the USB. It works really well. I'm pulling up this on the carousel right now. This is from Jack LED. Jackie LED, I should say. And a pretty cool thing. I do want to pull up the Amazon page, and then I'm going to show you a picture of me actually using them. You didn't know it, but I actually used these to power my show on Saturday. I needed power distribution in my kitchen. My kitchen only has a couple outlets on the island. I was able to use this, and it was brilliant. Pricing on these is great right now for what you get. Again, if you think about it, go take a look at power strips. Other than the Amazon basic ones, power strips cost quite a bit of money, especially ones that have USB charging and the outlets. Try to find one with 12 outlets and USB. You're not going to find it, except at this range. This is a great deal. I love the tower concept because it keeps your adapters off of the floor. It doesn't get bumped easily and fall over. It's actually pretty sturdy. Let's take a look at these LED indicators. So it's 2.4 amps max per port. It's saying 4.8 amps max shared, which actually is pretty generous. A lot of times you'll have one smartphone and then a bunch of other little things plugged in. So your smartphone's going to get up to 2.4 amps capability. Nice carry handle on top, and they're showing a great example. I also do like that it keeps your cords up and, in the corner. Now you could put this under a desk if you want, but the fact that you actually have direct control over your devices and the power buttons here is kind of cool. Like I said, I would put all of the things I wanted to turn off at the end of the day on this row, and then I push that and I can turn them off when I leave. So never have to forget about that. And then I'd keep the other things down below that need to stay on all the time. So that's a really cool product. This is all from Jackie LED. Now I'm going to pull up some pictures because I promised you I was actually using this the other day, and you didn't even know it was behind the scenes. We did our kitchen tech show. This was my wife doing a picture, and I actually used both of them. So I used one on the left side, and I was able to plug some cameras and equipment into it. I used another one on the right side over there and plugged laptops and other things into it. So these power stations are really cool. Nice 6.5-foot cord on these. Very easy to plug in. They are a grounded cord. Let's take a look at the max rating on this one. So maximum rating on this one is 3,120 watts at 240 volts, which we don't do. So the smallest one has a maximum rating of 1,430 watts. So there's that. I want to double check the middle one here. 1,625 watts on the 12-port model if you're on 125 volts. And the tower one, I'm double checking, is 1,625 as well. So that's just for safety. If you think you're going to be up in that range, maybe you got some really fast PC or something, then these ones are 1,625 watts each. This one's down at 1,430. I could see this going in a kid's room in a corner. Our kids have so many devices nowadays, and it's kind of cool because it's just one button here on each row to turn on and off, to turn the whole thing off. So very cool feature, very cool capability. And as Mr. Randy J checks in with, he says, and it's surge protection, which we did have a lightning strike at our church the other day, and one of our pieces of equipment got taken out. Who knows? Maybe, I don't know if that was actually plugged into a surge strip, but maybe this would help out. So another cool way, if you do have a surge strip plugged into a surge strip, that's a fire hazard. The fire department doesn't allow that. You're not allowed to plug those together. So if you need more ports, buy these taller ones, buy these combination units. It's a great idea. Still don't overload them. They're not going to let you overload them. But definitely love these units. I thought that was a great product. I wanted to bring it out for you because it's worked out really, really good for me. And that is the last product, believe it or not, on the show today. I want to thank everybody here that has tuned in today. I've got all of these products in the carousel if you're interested. And the way you can find me, that URL that's been scrolling down there the whole time, and I'm going to turn the scroller off, and that is my Amazon shop. If you can hit the follow on your way out, that would be awesome. I really do appreciate that. I'm here every Tuesday Got some family coming into town. I was very excited about that. We had family in town last weekend as well. So it's going to be a great time. Hopefully, you guys are having a wonderful holiday. And let me know if there's other cool stuff that you'd like to see. I've got some really nerdy stuff coming up here. I got some tools. If you're a tool guy, which I kind of am as well, I've got some really neat tools coming up that I'd love to share with you. Some stuff from an air nailer, which I'm about to go use tonight to finish up my bathroom remodel. Got some other cool drills and some things like that. So if that's something that interests you, let me know. And I will remind you to tune in next Tuesday because I think that's what next Tuesday's show is going to be all about. But happy holidays to you guys. Thank you guys all for checking in. Thank you guys that stuck in there through the whole show. And maybe we'll do a maybe we'll do some really cool giveaway for next week. Again, Jonathan Talks Hardware says he won a shirt last stream. So yeah, there are giveaways and cool stuff like that. Thank you guys all. I will catch you guys all in a future video.